Alrighty, howdy everyone. Alright, so I don't know where to begin. So let me just put it out there real quick that this is a video that I've been wanting to do for quite a long time. It's been a long time coming, and it's very super exciting for me, and I can almost guarantee it's super exciting for everybody that's ever built an airplane when they get to this point in the build project. I've got myself an engine. So this video is probably going to be a little lengthy. I don't know if I'll put it on my YouTube channel in one big chunk or if I'll cut it up, but I'm super excited. I'm going to kind of just go through what I went through to get to this point real quick. I know that's probably a little bit boring for some of you, but some of you might find some comfort in it. I'm going to go through that, and then I'll get to the actual engine itself. But so let me back up a little bit and start at the beginning. And if I ramble, I apologize. Like I said, this has been a long time coming, and it's very exciting. I still can't believe that it's here, but we'll get into all that. So I'll try not to ramble too much. All right. So, of course, at some point, you have to make an engine choice, and you have to go through all of the trials that are involved with that. Because it's a big deal. And there's the cost. It's the single largest purchase you will make on the entire airplane build. Potentially. I should say potentially, because not everybody's going to buy, not everybody's going to run out and buy a brand new engine, right? There are a lot of people that are going to buy core engines and rebuild them, or engines that are mid-time or whatever, have them rebuilt, whatever. So it may not be, but for me personally, this was going to be the single biggest expense on the entire build. So when I first started building the airplane, one of the first things that I looked into were engines, just to get an idea of what I was in for. And going through, I just went to the Vans website. I like to keep things relatively simple if I can, within reason. So I went to the Vans website and I started looking at engines, and I started, trying to figure out, okay, I know I'm going to build an RV7. What engines that Vans sells will work with the RV7, and it just gave me a very general idea of, engine numbers, IO whatever, an IO 320, an IO 360, an O 360. At the time, I didn't know what any of that meant. I had dealt with small Continental engines like A65, A75s, A90 Continentals. The IO 360, A1, B6 nonsense was a foreign language to me. I was totally lost. So that's where it started. And I wasn't in the market for an engine. I didn't even have my first kit at that point. It was on order, but while I was waiting, I started looking at engine stuff just to get familiar. So picking at it over time and visiting the forums and things of that nature, I learned what all these different nomenclatures mean and what the different types of engines are. And there are aftermarket, like performance engines, like the Titan engine, and what's the other one? Superior Performance, I think, is a place that makes their own engines, things of that nature. So if you're familiar with the muscle car type of car show swap meet world, it's the same kind of thing where you can buy like a stock engine, and then you can go to more like a speed shop type of place and get something that's been slightly altered, and puts up higher horsepower or whatever, So I've been picking away at that over the years, getting more and more educated on everything with airplane, with the Lycoming type engines for this particular RV setup. And, I've got an A&P license. I've been involved with aviation my entire life, and I love to build things. I don't care what it is. I just love building, and I wanted to build my own engine. So I started looking into engine kits. Well, they pretty much don't exist. I had some leads out there that were looking pretty promising, but I literally just got an email yesterday. So today is December 15th of 2020. So yesterday, the 14th, I get an email, and the guy finally told me, he's like, we can't sell you a kit, an engine kit that you build yourself. But in the process, I was considering buying all the components. You can get various like overhaul manuals, PDF style, off the internet, and I was literally going to just go through overhaul manuals and parts manuals and get all these part numbers together and go to Aircraft, Spruce, Wix, Superior Performance, or whatever they're called, Superior Air Performance, I don't even know. I looked at so many different places, all of the verbiage and all the names of these different places, they just mold together into a big mess. So if I screw up the name, I'm sorry, but I was looking at doing that. I was going to get the parts list together, all the part numbers for all the different things, and go to these different vendors and, buy a case, buy a crank, buy a cam, buy jugs, buy pistons, rings, nuts, bolts, starter, oil adapters, accessory cases, all that. Started down that road, and it became evident pretty quickly that would probably end up costing as much or maybe even more than just buying a fully assembled, ready to roll engine from Van's Aircraft. The other nicety is if you buy a built engine, and I'm pretty sure, I can't say this definitely, but I'm pretty sure if you buy a built engine from any company, they ship it to you after it's been run. So they've already built it, they've run it, they've tested it, they've leak checked it, they give you a build sheet with all the specs. Obviously, you build your own, you're not going to get that. So I was willing to do that though if the price savings was worth it, and it wasn't panning out that way. So about a week and a half ago, I was getting into that mild frustration point, right? Because you have all these great ideas, you have all these great plans, and you're going to beat the system, and you're going to have a brand new 30,000 horsepower mega engine for cheap that you're going to build yourself, right? So that frustration started to set in. It's like, okay, plan A is not going to work, plan B is probably not going to work, plan C is probably not going to work. You don't have a plan D, So that's kind of where I was, and literally by the grace of God, I found something on Tuesday, this past Tuesday. So like I said, today is the 15th. It was a week ago today. Today is Tuesday, December 15th. So it was last Tuesday. I came across something, and it was pretty much exactly what I was going to build. It literally had pretty much all the individual pieces, parts that I was going to purchase and build my engine with. So long story short, I found this thing, and I moved on it right away, and my wife and I hopped in the car. I found it on Tuesday. Thursday afternoon, we were in our car heading south, and I had the engine back here at the house Friday night. So it was literally Tuesday is when I found it. We rolled out of here on Thursday, and we were back on Friday. So within, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days max, I went from total frustration, not total frustration, but being very frustrated, trying to figure out what plan D is going to be, to literally having a fully complete engine in hand. And I still can't believe it. I'm looking at it behind camera here, and it's still alien to me that it's here. So that's kind of the little bit of an emotional roller coaster that I went through, and the plans that I had, I'm going to do this, nope, okay, maybe I'll do, nope, can't do that, how about nope? So that's kind of where I was, and things just played out the way they did, thankfully, and I'm good now. Very, very pleased, supersonic excited. I mean, it's just great for me because this is one of the things that I knew was going to be a big dollar item, and I don't totally agree with it. I think these engines, for what you're paying for a new engine, is crap, my personal opinion. But I just wasn't looking forward to the cost involved, and got a super great deal on this engine. I mean, super great deal, thankfully, thank God. But it wasn't cheap. They're just not cheap. That's the bottom line. You get into aviation, there's nothing in aviation that's cheap. You can't buy a rivet You know, that's not expensive per se. So it's here, and what I'm going to do now, since I've already babbled too much, and you probably can hardly hear me because, like I said before, when my camera is in the tripod, it covers up half the microphones, so I sometimes forget to yell. So I'm going to end this here. I'm going to take the camera off the tripod, and I'm going to show you around, show you the engine, and show you the different niceties that I got along with it, over and above, you know, the engine and the engine accessories itself. So let me do that, but again, it's here. I'm excited. I can't wait to do what I want to do with it, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. So let me get going on that, and I'll talk to you guys here in a second.